Okay, so in this one, I'm going to go ahead and talk about something that's really been on my mind, and at some point I would like to make a more formal video where I really lay out my ideas more, but like I've sort of implied, but probably haven't articulated very well at all in the other two videos I just did. These are videos that help me to try to hammer out and throw out insights. And I don't know, when I do the script, I put so much effort into it, and I'm finding I'm a little more comfortable with just doing things this way, so that I find sometimes you know, like with some of the videos that I've made pictures for, like the video that I did a while back where I talked about like content subjectivity, or I talked about an alternate version of extroversion and introversion, and those are just like videos where I have a cool idea and I want to put it out there, and so I spend all this time writing this video, writing the script and everything, when maybe it would have been, and I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have been, but maybe it would have been better to have done it as a much more free-form thinking video, so that it, in some sense, it advertises itself a bit better as what it really kind of is in some ways, even though I was trying to be very polished with it. So that was a minute and a half, and I still haven't talked about Myers-Briggs criticism, so I'm going to get into that a little bit here. And the first thing I want to say is there's actually quite a bit already kind of written on this topic that's far better than anything I could have said. So I'm not going to address actually a whole lot in here. If you, for one thing, Celebrity Types does have a very good article. I'm sure a lot of you have read it. It's called MBTI for Skeptics. If you go on their site, you go to articles, it's one of the very first articles. You can't really miss it. If you click there, they a lot of very good stuff there, very straightforward, and they cover a lot. And then, if you go into Google, I mean, because I've done this, if you go into Google and you type defense or in defense of MBTI or something along those lines, you'll find articles by people, reasonable, rational, fair articles where they're addressing a lot of the very common complaints. And I will post in this particular video, I will post links to those in the description below of just a few of them that I've read, and I find that these are really, I look at them and I'm like, yeah, these are really good. I don't have to make any video about this, because they've already said, they've already addressed some of these things that have bothered me a lot. Whenever I've tried to make a video before where I try to talk more about common criticisms of Myers-Briggs and of Jungian typology and of this whole kind of community and the theories and stuff, and it's always been very difficult for me to articulate things even in a script, and that's what I was trying to work on something for that literally most of today, and I guess it's kind of culminated in me just kind of giving up and doing this instead. But I was trying to write a script, and I just would get so irritated, and not just irritated, but just have a lot of trouble really getting my head around all of the different facets of the problem. And so that's part of why I'm kind of deferring to, or totally deferring to, other writers on the subject who I think have already kind of answered some of the questions. But in this video, I wanted to take my own kind of approach, a more general approach to it. So I hope you know what I mean when I'm saying criticisms of the Myers-Briggs and MBTI. What I'm talking about is typically this is the accusation that, quote, it is no better than astrology. It's as that lovely Vox video put it, that it is, quote, totally meaningless, unquote. Sorry, I'm trying to be professional here. Who am I kidding? I'm not trying. That's the whole point of this. I'm not being professional. Oh gosh. it's a common criticism of it that it's not empirical or that it has been invalidated. And so a lot of those kinds of little things, there's great answers already made in some of those videos. The fact, and I've talked about this a little bit before. So for me, I think I've mentioned this before. I don't care, well, I don't in general care about statistics anyway, which I'm sure that's going to end up with me kind of having to come to terms with the fact that that's incredibly naive of me, but at the same time, and I don't just mean statistics, I mean that if I see something that says, like I was originally going to do a video, which either wisely or unwisely have chickened out from, which was going to be entitled, Why the Vox Video on the Myers-Briggs is Totally Meaningless, which honestly to do that is really kind of easy pickings because there's plenty of other people who don't even care about the MBTI who are like, who criticize Vox. And this has nothing to do with Vox Media. I don't know enough about them. It was just about that one video. And I can't remember why I mentioned this. I was thinking I was going to do something like that, and it was going to be very snarky and rather sharp because I was very irritated. But I also felt that that video kind of helped to encapsulate and just capture in just a short amount of time, pretty broad strokes, pretty much every major criticism of the Myers-Briggs and of Jungian typology as a whole. And now that I think about it, I don't even know exactly what I wanted to say, but as I understand it, so sorry. There will probably be a lot of these sort of moments in the videos because I just suddenly realized that I'm not sure what I'm going to say next, and then I'm silent for a while, and I'm like, oh, well, this is really awkward if I'm putting this on YouTube for everybody to see. But I'm trying not to care about that, just because I'm experimenting. And I'm trying to just kind of talk about this stuff, but I guess I wanted to talk about this in another video, but I'll just talk about it now. Part of the reason that it's really hard for me to actually do this sometimes, and by that I mean all the time, even though I want to kind of do it just because it's easier in some sense, and the only way I can describe it is that my FE just it really gets in the way. And it is the FE because I feel very prescient and sensitive to what I think other people are going to think of what I say, or what they are thinking about the way that I present my thoughts, so if I'll just suddenly stop mid-sentence and I'll cut myself off, because I'll suddenly realize that in all likelihood something that I said will come off the wrong way or start creating a certain sentimental atmosphere that I did not intend and would reflect in a way on myself that I don't want to or don't intend and I don't have control. And so I'll stop mid-sentence because I'm like, crap, I need to try to reword that. But if I'm on like camera or something, then I'm not able to go back because that takes a lot of focus and I'm already nervous, and so I just kind of freeze. Unless I just sort of do this whole reboot like I just did right now, where I spend a whole couple of minutes just trying to explain this whole process to myself so I know what's going on. And normally that's not really acceptable, but hey, it's video and you can't talk back to me. So well, that sounded terrible. But that's what this is for. And like, I have to keep on assuring myself that I do not care if no one watches this, or I shouldn't care. I'm putting it out there. I don't know, almost because these are ideas and concerns and things that get really wrangled up in my mind, and I just end up feeling a lot better if I feel like I can just talk about it openly to the community and just say, hey, well, at least I did talk about this. It's probably not making any sense. It's okay. But you're really, you're really getting a very honest, forward side, or at least I'm just sort of presenting myself that way. I'm just talking, and I'm not trying to present anything. I'm refusing to stop the video. So this is very different. I've said that a million times. Okay, maybe I should start on a different video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk about what I wanted to with the MBTI criticism, because I'm having a lot of trouble of figuring out what exactly I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it, because it is a very kind of hot topic issue. But I don't know, I wanted to just be able to talk about it. Well, maybe I'll go ahead and try to do that here. I might just go ahead and put like tables of contents. Not that there would be any rhyme or reason to anything I've said in these videos. But yeah, I still haven't put a table of contents on the ENTP video, dang it. What am I even talking about? I don't know, I really want to put these up mainly because I just want to... I'm so sorry. I'm going to stop this video, start a new one. Let's try that again.